This week...
Please silence your cell phones.
So I don't have any funny starting thing for the video today.
What are we supposed to do?
I don't know. I think
Spitball?
we're gonna be serious. Today on Love Stuff, episode number 3, we're gonna be talking about love being kind. And in 1 Corinthians 13, that's the 3rd characteristic of love.
Nope.
No?
Nope. Second.
Oh, it's the 2nd. This is the 3rd video.
Second characteristic. Right. 1 Corinthians 13 says love is patient and love is kind.
So this week, I made a list of ways that you have been kind.
Nice.
I have it right here.
I made a list too.
Really?
Yes. Are we supposed to act like we didn't know that the other person was making a list?
Okay, we did know the other person was making a list. But what we don't know is what's on each other's list. You're kind when you remember to make the coffee the night before, and I wake up and the whole house smells like coffee.
For waking up, Folgers in your car. You redoing my office at work.
Oh.
You just took the bull by the horns, shopped for furniture, painted, and made something beautiful happen, and something that it would not have been as beautiful were I to do it, and it would not have happened were I to be in charge of doing it.
So a few years ago, I really tried to make a go of it as a writer. I sent out a bunch of book proposals for this book that I really wanted to write. I got lots and lots of rejections, and I didn't really know where to go from there. You said, well, what if we make it into a digital product and we sell it on a, what would you call that?
Called a website.
And you did it. You made it. You showed me how to do it. And that was the first product that I ever sold. And it was all stuff that I never would have been able to do by myself. I was kind.
Good, thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome too.
Thank you, yeah.
You have been so kind to me. I preach, that's my job. You create a discussion guide for our small groups, which is a service to them and to our church, but very much a service to me, because if you weren't doing it, I would be, and you do it better than I ever could.
Thanks. One way that you are kind to me is that you handle most of the phone calls. I hate the phone. I never want to talk on the phone. Honestly, I would throw my phone down the garbage disposal and never carry it.
That's the only reason we don't have a garbage disposal.
Thank you for handling all the healthcare phone calls and the cable company phone calls and
your mom when she calls.
Everyone but my mom. Mom, I love you. I love all the rest of you too. I just really would prefer you to text.
This is an example just from last night. We were leaving a restaurant, the 4 of us, and we were crossing the parking lot, and our slow child, speed-wise,
she's very smart.
It would be fine if she wasn't. She does happen to be smart.
It would be fine. We would love her no matter what.
Also happens to be the same one that falls out of the chair. Went to go out ahead of us, and I think was reading a book. There were 2 cars coming, not just one, but 2 cars coming. I stopped her, and this is a recurring theme, trying to save her from certain death in the parking lot. And I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated because I don't want to lose this child.
Right.
I love her. I really like being around her, and I don't want her to squander her life. Words come out of my mouth that I've not premeditated. Those words happen to be, I am not going to push your wheelchair when you get maimed by a car. But then it was like...
You said it with so much authority.
I had it. Said it with a lot of... As we're getting to and into the car, and this is the kind thing. First, you said, Eve, is Dad going to push your wheelchair?
Oh.
If you get hit by a car? Yeah. And London goes, nope.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, which was... good for me to hear. It's not the case.
No, of course he's going to push the wheelchair. The kind thing was that you brought this up and said, Eve, is Dad going to push the wheelchair? Of course he is. What he means is that he doesn't want you to be in a wheelchair. He doesn't want to push your wheelchair.
And that was just a moment where I had an absence of clarity. You had a little bit more clarity.
Patience maybe in the moment.
And so you stepped up and offered that to me.
Yeah.
In behalf of my relationship with my children.
Yeah, I was happy to be there for you.
Yeah, and I would push her wheelchair.
He totally would. I'm looking at my list.
Good list too.
You always give me the part of the pork tenderloin that is cooked the best. You always give me one of the end pieces that has all of the like glaze and sugary yummy on it.
I'm happy to. Do one more good one.
When I've been feeling depressed, and you said, how are you? And I've said, okay. And you've said, you don't have to be okay. You know, that's something you can say. And I can think, yeah, that's fine. That's what you say. But I've seen you show up after that. Take the girls and you'll make sure that people get fed and you'll make sure that, you know, the house doesn't, it might not be clean, but it won't be a disaster.
So we shared these lists. What do these lists have in common?
Part of what kindness is showing up when the other person is a terrible person. Yours for me was the wheelchair thing, and for you was, you know, when I'm depressed, when I don't want to use a telephone, it's me not showing up to human.
So kindness sort of acts in a certain way when the other person doesn't, for whatever reason, show up. So another thing I see emerging from these lists, the person who is kind is exhibiting a resource or a strength or a talent that they have in the direction of the other person. Like, I have something, I'm going to give it to you. I'm good at this. Hey, I'm going to make time and I'm going to give this to you.
You had a strength that you could offer to me when I had a weakness. And that really is the essence of kindness. Kindness in 1 Corinthians 13 is a hard word to define, and you're going to find a bunch of different definitions of it, whatever commentaries you look up. The reason it's so hard to define is because saying love is kind is a lot like saying love is love. Literally, you might say that kindness in 1 Corinthians 13 is love in action. Another way to look at it is the practical outworking of love.
Which is all incredibly vague.
It's so hard to get your hands on. Like, what exactly am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to do love. And that distinguishes it, I think, this word kindness from niceness, which you might be tempted to define kindness as.
And nice is fine. I don't know of anywhere in the Bible where we're told that followers of Jesus are to be nice. Now, kindness is stronger than niceness. Nicety?
Nicety?
Nice.
But
Nicosity?
kindness requires more of you than being nice. You have a definition that you heard for kindness that really has been helpful for both of us. It's a definition we've carried with us and one that has really inspired the way that we act toward one another in our attempt to love one another well.
It helps sort of put some teeth on the concept of kindness so it grips a little better in your mind and heart. So here's what kindness is. Kindness is lending my strength when you're weak. It's the situation where I recognize there's a deficit on your end, there's a resource on my end, and I'm going to bring my resource to bear in light of your deficit to help you out, to strengthen you, to build you up.
This is something that Jesus absolutely modeled.
Jesus doesn't just send us a postcard.
He didn't just look down and send you good vibes.
Jesus comes, and when we are weak, he is strong. That's the central message of the gospel, is that Jesus has been kind to you. Love responds to weakness with action, not just sympathy.
That makes it different than just saying, oh, I'm sorry, things are going bad for you. But it's responding to that recognition of someone else's weakness with something, with doing something. So in marriage, that looks like saying, not just, I'm sorry you're sick, but I took the kids to school and I'm gonna make dinner tonight.
Love says, not just, I'm so sorry you're overwhelmed with work, but hey, let me spend some time on Saturday to help you catch up.
Not just, I'm sorry you lost your job.
Right, but I will work extra hours to help make some money, take all the time you need to find a good fit.
I think of marriage like a plane with two engines. If one goes out, you're not stranded. It's gonna be all right. One engine is gonna be able to compensate from the other until it can get back up and running.
Did you see that movie, Sully?
Marriage, two-engined plane.
Yes.
Be glad you have two engines. Because a whole lot of people who are married, when one engine goes out, they just sit there whining about how the engine is out.
It's like, this is a two-engine deal. What's the problem? It's unacceptable that
you would be weak.
I'm at 60% and you're at 40%. Very seldom is it going to be 50-50.
No,
and
that's not the way marriage works.
No, and we got to be okay with that. That's what we're signing up for. Also realize that marriage isn't just, hey, you got to be at 60 when the other person's at 40. Marriage is, hey, guess what? When you're at 40, this other person's going to be at 60. That's how the ideal of marriage is set up by God. It's to, in part, compensate for the inevitable failings of two human beings with Christ-centered kindness. That's God's plan for marriage, and it's not always going to be true, all of it, in your marriage. It certainly isn't always true in ours, but it's what we're working toward, and it's what we keep our eyes on, and it's the true north that we keep navigating back around to when we experience it. It's so, so good.
I think this is one of the main reasons I love marriage so much.
Did you see that movie, Sully?
Your homework for this week
Homework
is to make a list. Make a list for your spouse of the times when they've been kind to you, and share your lists. Not only will this affirm you in the kindness that you've been offering, but it'll help you recognize what your spouse perceives as kind. Get this list and say, I'm going to do more of that. Look, this really matters to her. This really counts to him.
So
your homework.
That's the homework. If you do it, then you'll be entered in a drawing to win a trip for two to Cancun, Mexico. And
who's paying for that?
There's no prize.
Just love. Just being better at love. In 2 weeks, when we do the next video, we will have a prize.
A prize, really?
A prize. A drawing to win if you've done your homework.
We'll figure out how to make this possible.
And it will be good.
Okay. It will not be as good as a trip for two to Cancun, Mexico. Hey, thanks a lot for watching. As always, we'd encourage you to subscribe, share this video.
Yes, subscribe.
If you feel like you've been benefited by it and other people would benefit from it.
Yeah, okay.
Share the video.
Share the love.
We've linked a couple videos here of prior episodes that you can catch those. We'll see you next time in 2 weeks.
All of that information is good and accurate. I stamp approval. Bye, subscribe.
Like, I'm at the donut store. Cheers.